Hello, everybody. Let's talk about Cody, currency of the internet. So, if you've been here with me a couple times, I've talked about this a little bit. I'll be talking about it more, just as an FYI. And I mostly focus on how I think it's going to be integral to CBDCs. Specifically, I'll point out that direction because it's on the other side of the world from where I'm sitting, but out on the east because that's what they're targeting. And they appear to be doing a pretty good job of setting things up for them. All right. One thing I have not talked about yet is I haven't given you guys a price prediction. And I've been slowing down giving these to you guys simply because overall, the masses seem to like price predictions. They also like just tearing them apart and thinking that they're unrealistic because, in all reality, all price predictions are at best educated guesses, and almost every damn one of them has a little sprinkle or a fuck ton of hopium involved with it. So the way I've been doing my price predictions for you guys, I've done this now, I think this is the third crypto like this, is I'm going to use basic math and logic to give the bare minimum first. And then I'll add on the little bit of speculation and hopium to get where if we have a full alt season, which I still fully expect we will, where more so could it go? So since we're using math and logic, I know it's really rare in the space of investing. I want to update you guys a little bit about where these numbers came from because it's not simply just plugging in, oh, it's about 5 cents per crypto. There are so many billion of them. Let's multiply it to get a market cap that we're happy with and then regurgitate a price prediction. That's still going to kind of be the outcome, but there's a little bit more involved into it. So I want to jump into that almost right away. But first, I want to do some shameless advertising for a friend of mine. So I have no idea, real quick, if you guys are here, my name's Fighting Crypto. I'm actually into the sports, right? Various of them. Participated in, help others, corner people who are in fighting. Okay, awesome, cool, it's fine. So if any of you guys are into it, a teammate of mine, Gabby Roman, she's in the co-main event for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship in just a couple of Fridays from now, July 25th. If you guys like combat sports and you're all interested, it should be pretty easy. I think it's even free on TV and several streams. At most, I think their app is like $6 or something. If you're into fights, go ahead. Feel free to support my girl over here, Gabby. You might even see me on TV because you're not used to seeing me here on YouTube, obviously. But now let's talk about Cody. So a couple of quick ground rules on this. The stuff, at least for the really all my price prediction, but specifically for the logic-based part that I'll spend the next 5 or so minutes on, is it's based off of what we know, right? Not what we think or that we hope or that we're speculating or what looks like it could happen if Mercury's in the right retrograde as I eat a Twinkie at midnight. No, it's based off of what we know. So things that we know about Cody right now, it's helping out with the digital shekel. It is helping out with the testing of privacy transactions for the digital euro. It is part of the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. It's shaking hands, targeting a lot of Asia, Africa, and Europe to help out with keeping our wallets and our transactions safe, secure, and private. For the most part, that's what we know, right? Yeah, you can definitely add a little bit more details and stuff, but it's not speculating in terms of, oh, if it does this or then goes, what do we know? Okay? Keep emotion out of it, guys. We get wrecked if we don't. So Cody is inflationary, right? And I have no problems with inflation. As long as you know when it's going to, when tokens are going to be released, where they're going, I see no issue with it. I overall prefer that over things just getting dumped out from the beginning. Different reasons for it, but it's important to know it's inflationary. So for this, to get a good price prediction or to at all get a price prediction, I feel like we have to equate for the fact that there's going to be more coins. Approximately, was it like every 3.5 days, some coins get released. All right, this is an over a long period of time thing. It will slow down over time, but I decided to make the price prediction for if alt season happens at the last day of 2025, so December 31st. The reason why I did this is we don't know exactly when it's going to happen, right? And there's the main assumption it's going to be either quarter 4 or quarter 1 next year. So I figure if we need a date on how many of these coins, because that plays a factor here, right, are released, let's go with the end of the year. It's going to be close either way. So do realize that if we have the peak or the all-time high of Cody happens sooner, the price will actually be a little bit higher simply because there's less tokens. Is it going to be drastic? Not really, but a couple months apart, it could make an impact. So as of right now, there's about 2.2 billion Cody tokens out there, and the total market cap is about 110 million. By December 31st of this year, it's going to be a lot closer to 2.81 billion tokens, which for this exercise, I want us to pretend we have right now, right? So right now, pretend we have all the tokens that there will be December 31st at the end of this year. Got it? That would make it a $138 million market cap. Now we can start estimating where do we think it could go by the end of this year or height of the bull run. So I'm going to use that market cap to help us estimate a price prediction. And this can be for the bearish component, right? Like if it's low possibility. Okay? So right now, $138 million market cap, when we compare it to all of crypto, which is bouncing around like a $3.2, $3.3 trillion market cap, I want to know what the Cody dominance is, right? How much of that pie does Cody have? Just like how Bitcoin dominance, we track a lot for altcoin season of, it's around 64 or so% right now. Where is Cody at right now if it had all the tokens by the end of the year, the 2.81 billion? And that would be 0.0062% Cody dominance. I'll pull up a little table I put together in a little bit so you don't have to memorize these numbers. You'll see them laid out because I gave another set too, because that's based off the price right now. Okay? The all-time high market cap for Cody was 530 million. And this was when there was less Cody tokens. That's a factor. I don't think it really matters too much for this little drill, but I do want you to be aware of that. So I also want to estimate it with the Cody dominance right now if we get back to the market cap of 530 million, which I'm very confident we will before too long. And that would be a 0.016% dominance. So notably more, you can do the math, and it's about 4 times as much, right? But that's going to play a factor in a few moments. So another part we need to quickly factor in is how high can the total market cap of all of crypto go? Are we going to see it at 6 trillion, 8 trillion, 10 or 12 trillion? I've heard a lot of those factors. Specifically, I hear a lot of people say 8 to 12. I'm going to cut it off at 10 trillion just so we don't keep on going ridiculous with everything because this only matters to a certain extent. So now let's go ahead and do the breakdown and pull up the little table I put together. So here's a little table for you guys. So to give a quick little look and explain a little further or to reiterate what I said in chart form. So the total crypto market cap expectation, if at the all-time high of peak season, alt season, if total market cap gets to 6 trillion, 8 trillion, or $10 trillion, and the dominance of Cody stays exactly the same as right now, what price would be looking at? All right. So and that means that we don't get any more, no one buys more into Cody other than what to keep up with the total market. I suspect it's going to go higher than this, by the way, guys, hence the very bearish outlook. But this is if it just stays the same as all crypto rises equally, right? So in this case, we're looking at this category of $6 trillion market cap would give us roughly a 9-cent Cody. $8 trillion market cap, 12 cents. $10 trillion, 15 cents. Now, I kind of think these are junk numbers because it's very hard for me to believe that Cody's not going to increase dominance at any point in the cycle. All right, like they tend to go up with a narrative and they'll go back down again. And usually there's at least a swing 2 or 3 times. So if it only gets back up to the all-time high market cap of the $530 million, which raises the Cody dominance to 0.016, now at 6 trillion, we're looking at 34 cents. 8 trillion, 46, 10 trillion, 57 cents. And now I think we're getting to a more realistic bear case scenario, right? And so I guess if I have to give a first somewhat official price prediction on the bearish side, I'm kind of thinking 55 to 75 cents. And one, the math kind of shows that this is incredibly feasible if it just does as well of a market cap as it did back a couple years ago, and there's more people, more liquidity, more people know about it. So I think this is on the ridiculously low end of things, but it's the math. So I'm going to say 55 to 75 cents based off of only what we know right now. And I've heard these things, right, of like, well, it's going to hit $2 billion because why not? I can give you plenty of why nots, but let's also play with that, because the market cap doesn't really, if we go for a strict number, it doesn't really matter what the dominance is. So if we get to 1 billion, we're going to see 36 cents, 2 billion, 71, 4 billion, $1.42. Okay. That's mostly just in there because I was asked about that when I did this for, I believe it was Aerodrome. So, however, now let's add a little bit of speculation. We got our bearish 55 to 75. Yeah. But what about in a quote unquote more realistic or bullish situation if Cody gets to be a higher dominance than it is now, which is likely going to happen if there's any good news? So now here's a little bit more of the speculative things, right? So with price predictions, you will hear the same number a lot, and this comes with every crypto, right? With HBAR, I hear $1, $2, and $10. Actually, I don't even hear the $1 anymore. I think we've moved on from that. It 37 cents for a couple hours, gonna blast past $1, right, guys? Ethereum last time we kept hearing $10,000. One, always be wary of these whole numbers of ones and fives. Second, if you keep hearing a number constantly, it's not going to be that number because everyone's expecting it to get there. And we can go in another video of how quickly that mentally tears everything apart. So I've heard $3 to $5 a lot. And this is including, well, it's pretty much only in the Cody community. There's times I like to be wrong, and I would love to be in this case, but I don't in any way see a $3 to $5 Cody this cycle. Down the road, yes. So if you're a hodler and you want to get back into it after this cycle, after selling everything, which is where I'm kind of looking at doing, $3 to $5 down the road, I think is very realistic. I think that is very moon boyish for this cycle. I think that we're going to round trip our bags if you do it that way. But those are my thoughts and opinions. When Cody gets announced by the European Central Bank to help run the digital euro, I think it's going to jump this up. And I would love to say over $1, but that mental block for people with $1, a lot of people are going to be selling at $1. A lot of long-term are the more seasoned vets of crypto are going to be selling a little below $1, like probably around the 92 to 96 cents range, knowing everyone's waiting for the freaking dollar. So $1 is going to be really hard to hit. It certainly can, but do not be surprised if it gets stuck there right below $1. So my more realistic price prediction, I think is going to be around 92 to 96 cents because it's going to take a lot to really boost it up over there. And that's based off the speculation we know about good chance of the digital euro. If other things come out, like they get a deal with the digital pound, the franc, really any major first world country, or if they do a payment processing privacy, that's a lot of peas. For a large company like Amazon, or even regionally for like Nike or Visa, that's going to skyrocket this, and that can happen at any given time. And that's where I think a lot of the moon boyish predictions come from is, well, if this happens, it can go up there. It can. I'm not expecting that many things to happen this cycle. I'll gladly be wrong. But if we get one or two more large deals with the euro, I could see this thing pushing $1.50 to $1.75 per token. And I mean, it's what, 5 cents right now, guys. So we're looking at very basic math, like a 30x or so from here. And that's for a well-known utility coin. So that's kind of where I'm going to pull back the reins a little bit and say on the higher end, expect around there. So those are my thoughts. What are your guys's? Did the math at all make sense to you guys? Did you think it was a total waste of freaking time and you just want me to come out here and tell you $1.50? Like, what is it you guys want? I will hear you. I might listen to you depending, but let me know what you guys think. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm curious what you guys think. Feel free to tell me below. I'll be reading. I'll see you guys again soon. Peace.